I'm going to tell you the story of Augustin Mouchot, who had a great idea 150 years ago in the middle of the 19th century. It is 1860 in Alençon in France. Augustin Mouchot is a teacher in the school. It is winter and it is very cold. As he is gathering his coals and setting a fire in the stove he had to warm some water to wash himself in the morning, he was wishing for the sun to come out and heat up a little bit the land around him. But then he remembered that the scientists said that the sun sends 10 calories of heat to every square meter of the earth. And he said, why can I not harness this energy of the sun to heat the water to wash myself on this cold morning? And he set his mind to developing a way to do that. He said, I need a collector. So he got a pot, a copper pot, because metal is a good conductor for heat. And he filled it with water. He had 3 liters of water. And he painted the pot black, because black absorbs heat in a better way. Then he had to find a way so as not to lose all this heat into the environment, into the air. So he mounted the pot on stone. And then, to lose less heat, he put glass on top of the pot to keep the heat inside. And when, in a few days or in a few months, the sun came out, he saw that the water could get warm from the heat from the sun. And so he put his mind to think, how could he do this in a more efficient way? Because to get more heat, he would need a bigger pot and more water. So he devised the system with mirrors to send the rays of the sun into the water. And he managed to make a 3-liter pot of water beginning at 15 degrees to boil in an hour and a half. It was a revelation for him. He started thinking, how can we harness the heating power of the sun to make power generators for machinery that relied on coal, which was scarce and was getting very, very, very expensive. And he put his mind to work. And he imagined and created devices. He made a solar cooker. Since the sun could heat water, it could boil food. And then he thought that this issue of energy is too big. It is not only for household, to be used in the household. It can be used in industry as well. He could find ways of using the sun's heat to power machinery with steam instead of using coal to provide the energy. But he was working in the school, so he didn't have neither the money nor the time to do his research. So he applied to the emperor. There was an emperor in France then, and he knew someone in the imperial workshop. And the emperor liked the idea, and he gave him all the assistance from the imperial technical workshop that he needed. And using this technology and the assistance, he made an Archimedean screw for irrigation powered by solar energy, using mirrors and a metal cylinder to heat the water that would power the movement of the screw to bring the water. But then he realized that all this could be applied better in a country where there was a lot of sun. In that time, France had colonized Algeria, and there is a lot of sun. But still, he needed funds, and he needed leave from his teaching job. So he applied for funds. He started organizing his contacts But in 1870 there was a great war with Germany. It was over quickly, but the emperor was sent in exile and all his connections were not in the government anymore. So he started again. He started building these connections, and to make his work known, he published a book, and he registered 3 patents for his work. He promised that he could make a solar-powered machine that could power engines for industry. And his work was not unrecognized. He got a huge grant of 10,000 francs. He went to Algeria. He did his designs. He applied the designs to machinery. He even worked for the military, making a solar cooker, which heating the food and cooking the food without fire would make the cooking undetectable, with no signal from the smoke. He was so successful that he managed to get a place to show his work in the Paris World Fair in 1878. He got more money, a bigger grant, and he worked very hard. He went back to Paris and he constructed a huge machine that heated up water to make steam, to power an ice-making machine. 70 liters of water, and he produced ice there in the World Fair in Paris. He so impressed the crowds and the judges that he got the gold medal that year. And the Ministry of Agriculture, not to be left behind, gave him the Medal of the Legion of Honor. Now, Augustin Mouchot believed that he would, being so popular and so well known for his impressive inventions, that he would get funding to forward his research and create engines. But he was surprised. His next application for funds was cut in half. He only got 5,000 francs, hardly enough for him to live if he went to Algeria. He had also left his teaching position. He had taken special leave to be away from school. But he went there, and he worked there, but slowly his applications were rejected. Why? Because they had discovered new deposits of coal, so coal was once more abundant to make steam for the engines, but also at the same time, oil had been discovered in America, and ironically, in the same World Fair, that where he had gotten his prizes, the first internal combustion engine had been unveiled, and the world was turning to this new source of power to power machinery for industry. And all the studies said that it's not economically viable to use solar energy to power machines, for machines. And so he had to return to France. But by now, he was older. He was 55 years old. He had to return to school to teach, but he couldn't because he had been ill in Algeria. He had caught a bug which had left him deaf. So he couldn't, so he applied for a pension, and he got a small pension. But in the Scientific Academy rewarded him another pension which actually helped him to live. And he didn't stop studying. He published books on geometry, on mathematics. But as he grew older, he couldn't even go to the post office to get his pension. Only once, when he was very old, someone came and knocked on his door. They were from the Legion of Honor in Algeria. And they said how much his invention of the solar cooker had helped the hospitals in that country. It was a small recompense for this great man who died alone and penniless after making and applying the idea that we should turn to renewable sources of energy.